Don't worry
Oh.
about it.
This is a big fight.
Yes, demon enslaved, no death of freedom, unfathom choice. Doesn't this don't need to like you cowards, dear death late. This world is wrong to be.
What's up, guys? Our wrestling podcast back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious along with Jess the Total Package, Craig the British Bulldog, Joe and Cuzrot. This week bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. Craig, get the face off and feed me the damn topic. Got him!
We're talking about the history of the television title. A very prestigious title that's been around since
1974. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. For social media, can you do us a solid and give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast. Craig,
so for those of you who don't know, this is what we call, well, I don't know, I'm just naming this right now. This is going to be the struggle episode because nobody knows what order we tape everything in. So most nights we do 2 episodes.
This is the second episode.
The first episode we're all semi together because we do, indulge in alcoholic beverages as we go on.
Whoa.
But by the second episode, especially in between the 2 episodes, if we talk for fucking 45 minutes like we just did, like when we start the second episode, we're all like at least a 6-pack a piece in, and like we're ready to go. So this is going to be a struggle one because Craig's
having a good time.
What's up?
He's having a good time.
He's making the face, and we're gonna stress Dave out as Dave tries to plug along here.
We'll
this is only for YouTube. Only for YouTube viewers.
Yeah.
The regular podcast viewers, you're not going to notice anything different. But
YouTube,
YouTube, you check this out, and you'll see some very nice frozen faces.
You won't notice anything different.
Some Pulp Fiction, Marvin Nash, frozen weird, Fire Marshal Bill, awkward podcast faces.
Let me show you something. Yeah. Yep.
Yes, TV title. So everybody talks about the secondary title. First secondary title that comes to mind is Craig's face, is the Intercontinental Championship, which everybody, is defined as the workers' title. I kind of also thought of the United States Championship that the same way, sort of in WCW at a time period. But they also had one of the reasons why I like WCW I'm talking about before the Nitro era. As good or bad as it was during the Jim Herd times and all that stuff, I really appreciated some of the things that WCW did. One of them was have a plethora of secondary titles.
He used it.
We talked about this in our Forgotten Titles episodes that are in our archives. We talked about the United States Tag Team Championships. We talked about the NWA 6-man
Western States Heritage.
Western States Heritage, which only had 2 champions, I think, 2 or 3. Barry Windham being the greatest ever. But with this one here, we did mention the television championship in one of those episodes. We talked about it, but I really want to talk about the lineage here because I really liked what they did with the TV title. It's a very fine line, right? If you betray it, the whole thing about the television championship was it had to been defended every time it was on television. The title was on the line against a prelim, against a superstar. It didn't matter. So, and if the champion fought at house shows, the fucking great. If the champion fought at house shows, it was not on the line because there was no television cameras. So the television championship had to be defended every time it was on television. And I remember WCW going through a phase in 92 where every week on WCW Saturday night,
I know you're going
5-6 weeks in a row, were 2 out of 3 falls.
TV time remaining.
Yeah, and then Jim Ross was famous for being TV time remaining, television time remaining. So this title is nostalgic for me. Maybe a lot of people have forgotten about it and they don't care about it anymore. But I love this title.
No,
would you argue that the open challenges that say Cena did and others, it's almost inspired by the television championship?
In a weird way, yes, because every time they were on TV, yeah, like every week, Cena would come on and be like, "It's an open challenge." I mean, the TV championship didn't do an open challenge ever, but every time
they were scheduled matches. I get it.
and
But
they
you
were-
put the
it had to
title
have been
on the
defended,
line
yeah.
every week on Raw or SmackDown.
When you look at the lineage, there's almost more history to me in the television title than there is in the U.S. heavyweight title. When you look at the television TV champs, it's almost like that's the more equivalent to the Intercontinental title to me than the U.S. heavyweight champ. Like, I know it's always the step before the U.S. supposedly, but like the guys that won this title, it's Steamboat, it's Flair, it's Arn, it's Booker.
There's huge names on this.
It's huge
lineage.
names, and they didn't need the. It's almost like they didn't need the U.S. title to be legit. It was like, Jess, you have always said the last 3 years of this podcast, Intercontinental titles, it's the workers' belt. Perhaps more than anything, the television title is the workers' belt. And that I equate that to the
And
Intercontinental.
thinking back to the Intercontinental Championship, like people call it that. Was it really though? Like just because people like Henning held it, okay. But I mean, like people like the Warrior held it, and Warrior did great stuff with it. Warrior was not a good worker, but it catapulted the Warrior from one. It got him ready for the world title later. And you had a lot of people that won it beforehand that were like, well, I'm not saying they weren't a good worker. I'm just saying you don't think of them as such. Like,
No.
Yeah, you had Macho Man and Steamboat, but Honky was arguably one of the most well-known Intercontinental champions of all time. Held the title for a year and a half, a record to this day that has not been broken. Honky was not regarded as a great worker at all, and then the Warrior wins it right after that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, really, like how much was it a worker's title? I'm not saying great wrestlers didn't hold it, but you're right, Craig. That's a very good point. It was my long-winded way of agreeing with you. That yes, this title
I don't
was
think you
actually-
agree. Yeah, I think you should have me.
you had to assume the whole thing about this title was if you were on TV and you had a match and you were the TV champion, that shit was on the line.
It was on the line.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump right in, man. Let's get to the creation of this title. The television title was introduced on February 27th, 1974.
Before television was invented.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
That's actually not true.
1922.
Championship Wrestling, a territory of the National Wrestling Alliance, or the NWA, MACW, also known as Jim Crockett Promotions. These are acronym heavy. JCP was purchased by Turner Broadcasting System, or TBS. You missed that one, Jess. In
I fucked up.
1988, and subsequently renamed WCW. Before it was known as the WCW World Television Championship.
Wait, you just skipped 14 years.
What?
You skipped.
Oh,
You went from 74 to 87.
Yeah. I mean, really.
Are you really that interested? I mean,
No.
God
no.
damn it, Dave.
We'll get into some people in that time frame. We're just trying to get you the nitty gritties of the creation of it. Before it was known as the WCW World Television Championship, starting in 1991 and continuing up until the title's deactivation, it was known as the NWA Mid-Atlantic Television Championship from 74 to 77, the NWA Television Championship from 77 to 85, and the NWA World Television Championship from 85 to 91. It gets a
There.
little complicated.
Impatient Craig.
I want to know who's champion now. Let's talk about
Salt.
Yeah, let's
Ruthless
talk. Let's
Salt.
talk
That was
about
the
Mark Youngblood, Dave.
Let's do it. Well, before we do that, we got to get into Danny Miller, who was the first ever television champion of the Mid-Atlantic.
That's a made-up name.
Ole Anderson in a tournament. It's a tournament final on February.
Oh
27th,
man, when I first bought my
1974,
Danny Miller T-shirt, God damn,
North Carolina. Yeah, Danny
dangerous.
Miller had a lot
It
of
was
shirts.
dangerous Danny Miller, and it was at like
Dangerous Danny.
70s
That's not
letters.
true. That's not true, 6 listeners. That's not true. Don't listen to what Craig is telling you.
David.
Wait,
I know. Paul Jones would hold the title 5 times between 1974 and 1978. Paul Jones does sound like the ultimate USA name, doesn't it? Just so basic.
It's not even the U.S. title. I don't know why I'm chanting U.S.
Do I know Paul Jones as a manager, as a wrestler?
Yes.
Thank
It was
you.
Paul Jones, the manager. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so they gave managers this title.
What?
Bobby Heenan would win the title in 19.
Whoa. Hey, Bobby Heenan wrestled. Come on. Ric Flair would win the title twice. One time in 1975 and one in 1977. before his historic reigns as World Heavyweight Champion. Ricky Steamboat would actually defeat Ric Flair to win his
I'm gonna get on this plane and break my back. Woo! Television champ.
God, what?
That was actually pretty good.
What happened?
It's pretty good.
He's gonna win this back. There he goes. Another super. No, wait a minute. Hold it up. Ah, count two. Almost. What are you gonna say now about the guts of Ricky Steamboat?
Ric Flair would be defeated by Ricky Steamboat to win his first of 4 television championships on June 15th.
Before they feuded for the U.S. title, they feuded over the TV title. Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat feuded over the TV title, the U.S., and the World Heavyweight.
Common knowledge, David. Common knowledge.
Stupid, David.
So dumb.
Go on, David.
On October 12th of 1977, Baron von
We're gonna
Raschke
replace you so fucking hard and
That's fair.
so
Baron,
quick.
Fair enough.
Baron von Raschke. Do you see
would
this shit?
defeat Steamboat as the title, and the title was renamed the NWA Television Championship. Other big names to hold the title in the late 70s and early 80s were Greg Valentine, Rowdy Piper, Ivan Koloff,
And
and
the
Mike
hammer
Rotunda. Letting him know.
on television.
So there was, God, like even back then, like, Craig's kind of right, actually. I mean, big names did hold the U.S. title, but think about
you.
all the names we just Flair,
you.
Steamboat, Paul Jones, and then also Greg Valentine, Rowdy Piper, Ivan Koloff, and Mike Rotundo, also known as IRS.
There you go.
Also
Tully
known as the
Blanchard
father
was another
to
one that
Bray
would
Wyatt.
win.
and,
It was the U.S. before the U.S. title. Like it was the.
Yeah. I like it. So far, I like what it's doing.
All right. Tully Blanchard would win the title on March 28th, 1984 from Mark Youngblood. There it is, Craig.
Mark
To begin
Youngblood!
his
Mark
first-
Youngblood! Mark Youngblood!
His first reign that would last just under a year, 353 days.
Fuck yeah, he did. He wrestled 600 times that year.
I'm sure he did. It's probably very possible. Twice a day. It's all good.
Mark Youngblood.
There you go. He and Dusty Rhodes would feud over the title for the next 2 years,
that's not true.
trading it back and forth. During Dusty's reign, the title would change to the NWA World Championship, or sorry, World Television Championship. We got a typo here.
I fucked up. Shut up.
I know. I love you.
Slingshot! That's it! Dusty Rhodes with the slingshot is the World Television Champion! Dusty Rhodes!
Arn Anderson
Mark
would
Youngblood,
then
baby.
win his first of 4 television championships on January 4th, 1986, by defeating Wahoo McDaniel in a tournament final. I have to say, this is where I really caught wind of the television championship. I think this is where most of us. Well, yeah.
I do remember Tully's too. Tully and Anderson, we're going to get later on to the actual stats of the whole thing. They're pretty neck and neck in my opinion. Blanchard was a
Should've found the
fantastic. Anderson, of course. What are you talking about? But Tully
yeah.
Blanchard was an amazing TV champion here too.
Love it.
We want to introduce this man beside us. No stranger to all you wrestling fans, Arn Anderson, but this is a new introduction for Arn as the new World Television Champion, Arn Anderson.
Thank you, Bob. You know, Bob, since the beginning of time, any champion in any sport, if he was a true champion, had to overcome adversity. Now, I came out here once before and took this belt from Dusty Rhodes, but he snuck up behind me, busted me in the head with a chair. Jim Crockett Promotions did nothing about it. Jim Crockett did later come out here and throw his chest out and say, Arn, you don't deserve that belt.
The title will be purchased along with JCP by Ted Turner on January 21st, 1988, during Mike Rotundo's second reign, which lasted 335 days. Sting would then win his first major singles championship by winning the TV title match on March 31st, 1989, by defeating Mike Rotunda. How crazy is that Sting wins his first singles championship in 89? It seems like that's way too late.
And then right after that, in 1990, he won the World Heavyweight Championship. Sting did not win the U.S. title until after his first heavyweight championship reign.
Wow.
So he won the TV title is what they kind of used to sort of get him situated.
You don't need it. It's like If you can get them off their ass with a TV title, like, you're worthy.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, that's good enough. I mean, Anderson didn't win a world title, but cool.
Shut up, Dave. Shut the fuck up, Dave.
Anderson didn't even win the U.S.
He didn't need to, because Anderson was an attraction. No, he was. No, he wasn't. He was the greatest worker for all time. But no, he was an attraction, Dave. He didn't need the world title.
He's part of the Horsemen.
I don't like how Dave completely shit made logic and actually made a lot of good points on my. I'm gonna stop talking.
I love you, Craig. Don't be mad. Don't cuz it out.
David, I've been trying to tell you all Dave's dick, like from day one.
Sting, I'm sorry, I already read that. Sting would lose the title to the Great Muta on September 3rd, 1989. Arn Anderson would then defeat the Great Muta on January 2nd of 1980.
Who?
Arn Anderson.
Fuck you.
To begin his second reign, and it would last 336 days.
Oh, there it goes,
Well,
Mr. Anderson.
People say it was over a year, but
Some people say my reign was 334. I say it was 336.
But hey, it's okay.
That's the end of my point.
I walked into the God of Calendars. I said, I don't care if it's a year, a couple of days under a year. I'll do what you want.
It's an honor to hold it.
However you want me to book it.
Muta was great. Muta was great.
I'll do it. And Muta was.
I mean, yeah, I didn't win the heavyweight title, and Dave disrespects me by talking about me.
Dave's never liked me. That's fine.
But I'm the greatest TV champion of all time.
I don't need Dave. I don't.
Greatest
I've never
TV
needed
champion
him.
of all time.
Arn Anderson's one of the greatest wrestlers to not win a world championship. Let's be real about it.
Huh?
It's fantastic. Huh? I love you for that.
Pardon moi.
What the heck is going on here? DDT, what's going on? DDT, 1, 2, 3, yeah! No! Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner and new World Television Champion,
During Arn Anderson's third reign, the title would officially become the WCW Television Championship.
There it is.
Steve Austin, who wasn't Steve Austin, would win the title on June 3rd, 1991, defeating beautiful Bobby Eaton. That reign would last 329 days. So you know when people got stocked, they're going to carry the television championship.
Yeah.
Wow. I had no clue that Austin held for almost a year. That's great.
Yeah, that's actually when Joe and I really started liking Austin. We were just like, dude, this guy's fucking good.
He's good.
And, yeah.
Yeah, somebody better tell somebody about it.
Then he became a part of the Dangerous Alliance.
Maybe
after that,
maybe someone should have told Bischoff about it. No, I don't know.
Huh?
Just saying,
it had to happen that way. Come on, Bischoff wouldn't.
you're right. Yeah. You had to get pissed off.
He wouldn't have
with
became
WCW.
Stone Cold in WCW.
Yeah, all of that is true.
He would have been like lukewarm Austin.
Stunning Steve! Stunning Steve! Stunning Steve!
I could.
Doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Funny bit of a Bobby. She got the claws right in his eyes. Rolls him up. Oh my goodness, he pinned him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner and new WCW World Television Champion, Stunning Steve Austin.
I can see it. I can see
Stone
it.
Cold.
Hollywood blows. Hollywood blows. I don't know.
You're all gonna cry blasphemy on me, but Dave, read this next line so I can go to bed.
Lord Steven Regal would win his first of 4 television championships by defeating Ricky Steamboat at Fall Brawl on September 19th, 1993.
Look, I love Regal. I know if anybody listens to this right now, they're gonna be like, "What?" It's like,
How
no.
dare you
Back
defeat-
here in 1993, Regal, he put me to sleep all of the time.
It's
in
true.
his World Television.
It's true.
Jesus Christ, like because they decided to book him every time
true.
he wrestled. He went to a 20-minute
It's
draw
true.
every time.
Jess.
Every pay-per-view, 20-minute draw with Steamboat,
Can I
20-minute
just say,
draw
is
with
that
Pillman.
really his fault?
It is.
No,
It's,
no.
he's not alone. Like they tried. Like back then. Like we look back now and we love Regal. What he's
not
done.
booking
He's
him,
trained
bro.
wrestlers. He built NXT. He's a Blackpool Combat Club. Like
go talk to Kevin Sullivan about it.
don't ever equate Steven Regal with Kevin Sullivan. How dare you? What the fuck
are we doing here?
Is he not booking here? Am I wrong?
No,
Sullivan,
Regal's
I
not.
don't think so.
No.
In 94, who's booking here?
I think 93. I think it was Rhodes.
But what we're saying
That's
is
even worse.
Regal's
Rhodes about it.
Regal's style. Just we never truly appreciated it at the time, and that's okay.
About that.
He was still.
That's fair, Craig. That's fair.
It's workmanlike. But we did. Every single pay-per-view, every single Nitro, we saw Regal, and we kind of phased out, and we didn't appreciate him until it was too late. And maybe that's what the greats happen. It's like he was teaching us a lesson we need to learn 20 years later. I love you, Steve Regal. But
I do enjoy Steve Regal now, and I do appreciate what he's done.
But yeah, back then we were like, "Fuck this, fucking fast forward." I am so tired of these.
Like,
who needs hammerlocks in your
draw every time? He had to set a record.
I don't believe he's the one booking that. I swear. He's
No,
not
but it was better. It was more than just booking, because when we wrestled in a backyard wrestling federation, I did European uppercuts based on Steve Regal, and Jess and Joe and Dave didn't like my European uppercuts. Thank you.
No, it wasn't. No, it
Thank
was
you.
not that.
Thank you.
We enjoyed European uppercuts. We did not like the Regal roll. And you know what I'm talking about. The Regal roll was awful. So the European uppercuts were fine. The Regal roll was trash.
You took him over the edge on that one, Jess.
Why are you bringing up old shit? I did. I would.
You did first?
So yeah, Regal roll is for fans out there. There's no way this is making the podcast. But Regal roll is you would put someone on their shoulders, and then you would forward roll on them, and that's the Regal roll.
It's so
it
dangerous.
did nothing.
Fuck you guys. I like the Regal roll.
Them, you rocked them to sleep. Maybe that's how you beat them. But it was terrible. It was just a terrible move.
You know
and
what?
Every time Regal did it, we're like, why? Why are you doing it? Why?
You know,
why does nobody go, don't do that anymore? Don't do that.
I quit the podcast.
That's fine. Johnny B. Bad would win the title.
Oh my
3
God,
times
this is
between
hilarious. This is
94
so funny.
and 96. Booker T would then win his first of 6 television title reigns by defeating Disco Inferno. There's a name that we should talk about more.
Whose side are you going to be on when that happens?
WCW, no doubt in my mind.
Booker T covers 1, 2, and we've got a new TV champ! Another title change! How about that one?
I told you, we all said it. Wrestling's going to change right here at WCW.
2 championship matches, 2 title changes. Unbelievable. What a night.
Booker T would trade the title back and forth with Chris Benoit, Fit Finlay, Rick Martel, and Scott Steiner. Scott Hall would defeat Rick Steiner on November 21st, 1999 to win the TV title. He would later get injured and be unable to defend there. He tried to give the title to Kevin Nash, who didn't want it.
Marvin
Threw it in the
Nash.
trash and then abandoned it there. 3 months
So
later,
bad.
Hacksaw
I'm gonna put that
Jim
clip. I'm gonna put that clip here.
Kevin Nash has
And,
no business winning any sort of
It
television
was a
title.
fucking throwaway promo in the back where they were talking about, like, I guess Hall had an upcoming title defense against Sid, and they were talking about it. And then the announcer was like, the announcer was Chavo Guerrero actually, and the announcer was Chavo's like, so when you, I get that you're gonna defend the title, the U.S. title against Sid. When are you gonna defend the TV title? He's like, man. It's funny what he said because he's Scott Hall and he's funny, but like he shit on this title. He was just like, man, he's like, I don't even know what this title does, man. Like, I didn't get any free TV dinners. I didn't get to meet Ted Turner. Like, it was funny. It is funny.
I didn't get to meet Ted Turner.
But he goes, here, big man, take it. Do you want it? And Nash's like, no, man. He's, I'll get that trash can over there. And they staged like fake basketball, and he dunked it in the trash can. They threw the fucking TV title away and vacated it, basically. And the Dave's going to read the fucking sad fate it had to.
Title. U.S. title. Right. But when are you going to start defending the TV title?
Kev, what is the deal with this TV belt anyway, man? I get no free TV dinners. I didn't get to meet Ted Turner. I didn't meet no TV stars. I mean, this piece of tin's useless.
I can give me that. I got
Here,
an idea.
take it.
Yeah. Grab that trash can.
What are you guys going to do here? Is this a little basketball? Big Kevin Nash, number 69. Oh, the stuff. 2 points.
They have thrown away They slam dunked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 months later, Hacksaw Jim Duggan would find the title in a dumpster on February 2000. And
For
he's
3
like,
months, all WCW's trash, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew this.
Sorry.
All the trash that they generate on Monday Nitros and shit gets hauled around for 3 months and tours the country with them.
Sure.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In a
You didn't
dumpster
know that?
3 months later.
You didn't know that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He would be the final television champion until the title was
Hacksaw Jim
deactivated
Duggan.
on April 10th.
Do you know what? That kind of makes me happy, actually.
The final television champion was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And why? Well, you did do the real role. That's why you're saying
That makes me happy.
Yeah.
What? Wait. That was it. Fuck you, man.
No, say it like.
Let's get into some stat. I love
say
this.
it like
stat.
Razor
I
would,
never
Craig.
before the stats.
Mine.
I never knew the hatred for my Regal role in
Yes, you
backyard
did.
wrestling.
Joe and I
No.
said it all the time. If Joe was here, Joe would back me up.
No.
Let's get into some accolades of the title. Let's to try to look at our top guys to see who really defines the television championship. Total combined days we have. I'm gonna start down and go up. Stunning Steve held it for 431 days combined. Mike Rotunda, better known as IRS, son of Bray Wyatt, held it for 433 days.
Father.
What did I say, son? I'm so
Stupid.
sorry. Father.
Piece of
You're
shit.
so dumb. Trying to get fancy.
God, what a Regal role.
That's right. Lord Steven Regal with a Regal roll.
Regal rolled
557
that. Go on.
days. There it is. Paul Jones, 679
Wait, you said,
days.
oh, Lord Steven Regal was 557?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, it's a lot of Regal rolls.
That's a lot of Regal rolls. Tully Blanchard holds it for 685 days, but that is easily surpassed by Mr. Arn Anderson, 877 combined days.
That's my boy.
I don't know what happened, but if you're gonna give me 877 days, I think I'll take it.
Good fucking
Honestly,
I'll be grateful.
that's all I remember with the TV title is Arn Anderson. Not all I remember, but
I feel like every time I watch a TV title match, Arn Anderson was involved. That's what I.
Whenever I think
feel.
of the television championship, I think of Arn Anderson.
Yeah,
that's
he's
it.
the king of the TV title,
Purely and forever.
And what's
then,
insane
now,
though is
and
he's not-
forever.
He doesn't hold the most reigns though, Craig. So let's get into that.
Booker
We
T
have
does.
A lot of people tied with 3. We got Chris Benoit, Ivan Koloff, Rick Steiner, Dusty Rhodes, Johnny Dad, Mike Rotundo, and Tully Blanchard all hold 3. Our next step up with 4 is Greg Valentine, Ricky Steamboat, Steven Regal, and Arn Anderson. And then we got Paul Jones with 5. This Paul Jones must have been really good. And then at the top with 6 is Booker T.
That's
Held
crazy.
6
I don't remember the
television
Booker T TV championship reigns.
I
They
do
traded
because
back and
that's
forth quite a
no,
bit.
that when he first won that title, that was the first singles thing he ever did, and then he like pretty much launched after that. Every week I was like, dude, Booker T's awesome. He's awesome, and so that was really his coming out party.
Mm-hmm. Longest single title reigns. I feel like I have to go back and watch some Paul Jones footage. 368 days,
You know.
more than any other. You stop it. Be nice to Paul Jones. More than anybody else. Number 2 is Tully Blanchard with 353 days. Arn Anderson 336. Mike Rotunda 335. Stunning Steve Austin with 329 days on the single reign. I don't know how to
The
feel
names
about
that jump out, besides Paul Jones, because we say Anderson, we the guy who we associate with.
Sure.
But Steve Austin actually pops in there quite a bit.
Oh, he nailed him with a belt in the face! Wyndham's out! He hit him with the World TV belt in the face! He did it!
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner and new World Television Champion, Stunning Steve Austin!
You know what I love about this, Shivani? Yeah, he cheated. That's Stunning Steve did it with no help from Paulie.
Especially with the single reigns and the combined. He's on both lists.
Just saying.
And
the
so
guy-
is
the guy
Mike
who-
Rotunda.
yeah.
Mike goddamn Rotunda.
It all make it's besides the whole Paul Jones phenomenon that I don't understand here. It all kind of makes sense. It all makes sense. Like these are all major workers, guys that can get it done, Guys can get it done on a regular basis when commercials and watch time is on the line. Who can we put on TV that can work?
That's a good point, actually. No, that is a really good point because with this championship being like the television title, literally, you did want somebody to hold it that could wrestle a good match. And WCW, to their credit, no matter what generation it was, they always knew, okay, this match is going to go like 10, 15, 20 minutes. It's going to, if it's fucking Regal, you're going to draw. But I mean, like, they knew it was going to be like the wrestling match.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and then there's a lot of good TV title matches too, like Sting versus the Great Muta. I want to say it was the Great American Bash when the title got held up. And then they wrestled after that. That's when Muta finally won it. Like a couple of weeks later on like WCW Worldwide or something like that. Anderson against the Great Muta when Anderson defeated him finally. That was a unique match. I know it's on YouTube somewhere. Blanchard and Rhodes, their whole feud was really good for this title. And it was for the TV title. It was really, really good. A couple good Anderson matches too. Anderson defending against Alex Wright, and I want to say it was Slamboree 95 off the top of my head. I know people are gonna be like, what? But I'm like, everybody thought Alex Wonderkin was gonna beat him that night, but he did the coolest ending sequence to defeat Alex Wright and retain the title that night. And I loved Anderson. Even as late as 95, he was wearing the television title. So I think that's kind of why Anderson really was one of the last notable champions besides Booker T. Booker T beating Disco Inferno. I want to say there was numerous times where Booker T defended against Benoit. He defended, I think, once against Bret Hart on a Nitro, and there was a lot of good people that Booker T fought. Rick Martel won the television championship from Booker T at one point in time. There was a lot of one-time champions too. I remember pulling up too that people. Beautiful Bobby won the television championship. There was a lot of really cool single.
You think he would have won it more?
For all the skeptics that said it couldn't be done, for all those that said he was a tag team wrestler and nothing else. Oh, what the neck breaker!
Goes right into the neck breaker right here. He's got the neck breaker on him, Bobby. I mean, it's definitely in here right now. I believed he couldn't do it. He went up to the top right here, the Alabama Jam. You see Brian Pillman, payback, my friend, a world television champion, Bobby Eaton.
Rick Martel won it later, in 1998.
It's a former
NWA
champion,
WCW. Rick Martel won. It was crazy.
As a double leg pickup, Booker T's in a lot of pain. Sure, with that problem with the knee. Here comes the quarterback crab.
How close is he to the ropes? Can he reach the ropes?
Jimmy Jan over to check. Jan, he's reaching, I believe, with that left hand. But now, did he tap? He's tapping. He tapped up. We have a new world TV champion.
We got a new champion. Martel did it.
Incredibly, wow. Sanders came in. Booker T tried to kick him down, and then, we've got a new TV champ now.
Ultimo Dragon was another one that won the TV title. Jericho won the TV title one time. There's so many one-timers out there. Z-Man won it one time, defeated Arn Anderson.
What's up for Z-Man?
So this is a really cool title. I really always had fond memories of this championship, and I really enjoyed it even when I was watching WCW in the very, very early 90s, way before the Bischoff time. I really enjoyed the television championship. It was a focal point for this company.
But we're all in agreement. Arn Anderson is the definition of...
I would say, yeah. I would say if I had to pick the greatest intercontinental television champion of all time, it would be Arn Anderson. But Regal, I think, is in that argument, maybe looking back. But just with the times, there were in the Nitro era, in the late 90s, he won a couple of TV titles. One of them off the Ultimate Dragon, I remember, too. And Regal was getting better. He was a lot more fun to watch rather than the 93 Regal, who took every single person to 20-minute draws. Again,
I can't put that completely on him.
Austin's another one who I associate with the TV title. Austin held the title for, talked about the combined number of days, and one of his runs. Yeah, one of his runs was a long time too. So it was stunning Steve Austin. That definitely helped him cut his teeth in like the big leagues, between the big two, WWF, WCW, and I attribute that to the television championship. He was a great TV champion. There's a lot of really cool runs. If people just go back on YouTube and type in television champion, like you get so many. Steamboat, same thing. Him and Austin had a classic match for the television championship at Clash of the Champions 20.
Something you forget about, man.
Yeah, in 92, Clash of Champions 20 in 92, Steamboat defeated Austin for the television championship. That was really cool, too.
That's crazy. Steamboat and Austin.
Steamboat wrestling Flair in the 70s.
Steamboat wrestling Austin. Like,
and then
what?
beating Austin in 92, like years later. Like, so that's crazy, too. So there's a lot of like really, really cool matches you can go back. The TV championship will always have a fond place in my heart. I love it.
Craig,
super fun title.
What?
Do a Regal. I would put a Regal roll in, I think, right here of you doing it.
There you go.
I'll do Regal doing it, and then I'll do you doing it.
Thanks, Craig. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcast, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. On social media, can you do us a solid and give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast. For Craig Kurgan, because that's who wrestled as, Jess the Total Package, and Dave Vicious. This is the O.W.P signing off. Have a good one.